Hello, I am Carola Strassner from FH Münster University of Applied Sciences, and I will take you through this lecture on driving sustainable diets and the role of food service. After working on this lecture, you should be able to classify food service operations, identify issues relevant to sustainable development in the food service context, and using food as an entry point, examine new food service operations regarding their transformation potential. Let's start with a look at food service. I like to do this because people often aren't aware just how big this field of eating out of home is. We can distinguish between two broad categories, that of institutional catering, that means catering for groups of people, for communities, and that of catering on an individual basis in hospitality. Institutional catering covers business catering in company canteens, care catering in hospitals, homes and clinics, education catering in primary, secondary and tertiary levels, as well as catering for prisons and armed forces. Hospitality typically includes all types of hotels with food service operations, all types of restaurants, and food services accompanying travel by train, plane, ship, and other forms. As you can see, people's diets include many instances of eating out of home using a food service. If we look at sustainability in this field, and we've called it HORECA here, that means hotels, restaurants, and catering, and using a very basic representation of the inputs and outputs of a food service operation, we will find a fair body of research and practice focusing on food in an operation, particularly food quality according to various criteria, such as short chain, local and organic, and also fair trade. We will also find issues of greenhouse gas emissions because of climate change. For example, you may have heard or read of climate menus, or of calculating the carbon dioxide footprint of a meal or an ingredient, and this issue links with animal product use. And also we will find information on food loss and waste, mainly on waste at the end of the process on the customer's plate. We are going to focus on food. Typically, when food service stakeholders take issue with sustainability, they look at food quality and food origin. Various quality criteria can have a very large impact on sustainability issues. We can see this if we look at the example of the city of Munich in Germany. The city addresses the following requirements to caterers that wish to win a tender: a minimum of 10% of all food served in organic quality, a minimum of 30% of all food from local production, a minimum of 30% of all animal food or of a single animal species with an animal welfare standard, marine fish exclusively in Marine Stewardship Council quality, and coffee and tea exclusively in fair trade quality. In this way, a great impact can be developed from such procurement guidelines. One quality criterion that plays a very central role in sustainable development is organic. That is because organic is a process quality and tells us something about the way the foodstuff was produced and the impact of that production. We can use organic as a model and follow it through the value system in food service from input through production and processing, via wholesale, to food service operations, and finally to the guest. Between all these links, we have distribution, trade, and loss or waste happening. What does this look like in practice? Let us look at two short case studies. Short case study number 1, Södertälje municipality in Sweden. This city, close to Stockholm, has 91 municipal restaurants in schools, kindergartens and elderly homes throughout the city. In the city's schools, 24,000 meals are served every school day. In 2001, the Södertälje City Council decided to use the purchase of food as a tool in environmental work. In 2006, a diet policy was created and adopted by the City Council in 2010. By 2014, around 90% of all municipal kitchens were fully equipped and able to cook from raw ingredients. By 2016, 60% of the food being served was organic, at no increased cost per meal, and the quality was continually verified. Södertälje school meals achieved Best School Meal Awards in Sweden consecutively in a number of years. Short case study number 2, the Seoul municipality in South Korea. The city of Seoul took the decision to provide environmentally friendly school meals. Environmentally friendly, also known as eco-friendly there, consists of 3 forms: organic agriculture, pesticide-free agriculture, and low pesticide agriculture. In October 2008, the municipality launched the Organic School Meals program. By March 2009, they started in a pilot form with 62 schools throughout the municipality. 6 years later, in March 2015, there were 723 schools in the Seoul municipality working with the Organic School Meal program. In order to achieve this, they built 3 logistics centers to a total value of $27.5 million. What drives such meal system developments? In the organic sector, there is a wide-reaching supporting environment. There are growers, such as organic agriculture associations, that offer support for supply chain actors. Then there are networks, peer-to-peer networks, such as organic mentors or chefs' initiatives, networks of organic hotels or sustainability tourism hotels or healthy school meal networking units. Furthermore, there are specialized consultants that work in the B2B area, working on organic food service, working on rural development or environmental protection, and they have specialized initiatives supporting organic entry into food service. And furthermore, there are also educators across vocational schools, hotel schools, cooking schools, and in nutritional consultancies. All these serve to support organic integration into food service. Another driver is the integration of organic or other sustainable goals into various standards and guidelines. These include quality standards and even nutrition guidelines from recognized nutrition societies. They can also be found in procurement guidelines, for example for student canteen providers or municipal procurement staff. There are recipes and cookbooks for cooking professionals, and there are educational materials addressed or oriented to scholars in junior schools, to scholars in high schools, and with supportive materials for the teachers. All of this exists across many countries around the world and in many languages, providing a rich pool. Yet another driver is the direct cooperation between procurers and producers. Usually these are small enterprises. This includes the aspects of short chain and local production. There are many direct marketing initiatives to food service providers, such as farm to school, farm to college, or farm to hospital. Have a look at the one-on-one partnerships between various supplier food service tandems on the slide. These are all real-world examples. Still looking at drivers, we can include standards and certification among these. We have organic food and farming standards and certification. And we also have other standards and certification which include organic food criteria. Just a few examples of these are listed on this slide. As a global community, we have an inordinate pool of experience in developing, setting up, running, troubleshooting, adapting and improving such standards and audit schemes. This supports the drive. In the endeavours to drive sustainable diets through food service, there are also some challenges ahead. The first of these is the changing social practice of eating. What constitutes an act of eating, what constitutes a meal, a place of eating, who we eat with, and many more aspects are undergoing radical change. In the field of diet and its relevance to sustainable development, we need to remember to consider diet in the context of social practice of eating. If you look at the photo, you can see a young lady holding a coffee cup to go. We may endeavour to change the coffee to an organic or fair trade coffee, and we may endeavour to change the cup and the lid to materials that are renewable. But we still won't change the social practice of buying and drinking coffee to go. And this has been one of the singular most wasteful practices that has come about in recent years. The second challenge is connected to how we define data. It is a critical issue because we are used to making decisions on the basis of data that backs up our decisions. Food service bought food used to be out of home, while retail bought food used to be cooked at home. Now retail bought food is eaten out of home, often on the go, as you can see in the photo with the coffee and the baked good. And restaurant bought food is delivered to our homes to be eaten there, as you can see in the photo with pizza and nuggets and other food products. Perhaps we are missing the shift because of the way we measure and define the data. We need to reconnect our research question with the definition of the data we collect and use. And finally, the third challenge arises from the question of proprietary rights to data. If more and more diet is taking place in private or commercial food service settings, how will researchers access such data? We need to engage with stakeholders to answer the question about data availability. Bringing it all together in the summary, our points are as follows. The introduction of organic and other sustainable goals can act as a change agent and a driver to sustainable diets. Case studies tell stories about sustainable food service champions and practice in places. Food service plays a central role in driving sustainable diets, and it has a role in the co-creation of a better food system. Thank you.